Hello everybody, what's up? It is Christian here with PlaystationFollower, and today I want to talk to all of you about the highly anticipated, much talked about new game from Ubisoft, For Honor. So the open beta for Honor was released today, and basically I've put enough time into it to sort of give you my thoughts and let you know everything that you should know going into For Honor this weekend, or if you pick it up this coming Tuesday. So first off, I should mention that For Honor is peer-to-peer online multiplayer. What that means is there's no dedicated servers, so whoever the host of the party is, they're gonna have the best internet connection. With an online multiplayer game, that does kind of slightly give a bias towards the hosts rather than the people they're playing with as far as connectivity goes. Now with that out of the way, let's talk about all the different things For Honor has to offer. Very generally, at first, I think For Honor is a cool concept. I think 1v1 fighting is very, very intense. I put a fair amount of time into playing as the Samurai, Viking, and Knight classes, and I gotta say, I don't know if there's a balancing issue here or if I'm just better with one over the other, but the Samurai are my favorite to play as. I think the Katana gives you good range and it's speedy, and I really enjoy that class. I know there were a few issues with the Warlord for the Viking class feeling very, very overpowered because of his shield block push thing. For Honor offers several different types of online multiplayer. There is Deathmatch, which is 4v4. If there's empty spaces, they fill it in with bots. And basically what happens is what you'd expect. There's no objectives, it's just you pick a character and you go kill as many people as possible. What's interesting about the Deathmatch in this is it's best of 5 for both teams. If you die or your teammates die, you can get revived, but if you're not in time, you die and you can't respawn until the next round. This adds an intensity to Deathmatch that you normally don't get with things like Call of Duty or Battlefield, where you can respawn seconds after being killed. Each death and each battle means a lot more going into it, knowing that if you lose, you could cost your team the round. And speaking of intense battles, that brings me to the next mode, which is called Duel. Duel brings us back to the days of 1v1 quickscoping on Rust and pits two players against each other in a small map, and it's the first player to reach 3 confirmed kills over the other wins. I think when I tried this one out a few times, I was playing against the computer, and I'm kind of curious as to why I couldn't find an actual player, because this seems like a really promising mode, especially if you want to get a buddy, go online, and pick a samurai and beat up his puny-ass knight for talking shit about the samurai clan. And last but not least, we have Dominion, aka Domination, which is probably the one I invested the most time into. It's basically what you'd expect from any multiplayer game. There's 3 locations, you both have a spawn on each side of the map, you gotta capture A, B, and C. And the first team to get a certain amount of points wins. This is a lot of fun because you have the same core 4v4 mechanic of deathmatch added with the objective, but you have a huge AI army that gets added as well. You have to battle and kill the AI from the enemy team to move the front so your own enemy AI can get further across and help you out in the fight and overwhelm the other players. So these are the 3 main multiplayer modes shown off in the beta. There will be a total of 12 characters to play as once the final game comes out. There is sort of a meta game going on here called Faction War. It's sort of a global clan that you get to pick before the game starts. I chose Samurai because it's Samurai or die, and they're cool. Give the Samurai some love, because Assassin's Creed sure won't. After every multiplayer battle, you leave and you get your XP, you get your rewards, you get your items, you get all your stuff that you'd expect, but you also get war assets, and you can choose to deploy these war assets on the main map somewhere. The multiplayer metagame has these things called seasons. They last 10 weeks, and every 10 weeks that resets, everybody's back at 0, but everything that happened from that season stays in place. If your faction, say the Samurai, put all their war assets into one area controlled by the Knights, by the end of the season, if you go into that map, you'll see samurai stuff all over the place if it's a knight's castle, which is a really cool way to make a hybrid of the characters, which is what For Honor is all about. And if your faction is leading somewhere at the end of the season, you obviously get some awesome gear. Every single 10 weeks, you're going to be getting rewarded on something based on how well your faction has done. There are a few complaints I have about For Honor, mainly balancing issues that I really haven't been able to get really into, but they feel present, and that's kind of concerning considering the game's coming out this coming Tuesday. The 1v1 battle mechanic is very intense, but people can gang up on you and you can die in an instant. That is fair to think about because each character really is a tank, considering all the AI soldiers around them are kind of pansies. And speaking of that, when you compare the level of intensity and skill and thought that has to be put into a 1v1 battle against another player and compare it to just slaughtering left and right AI soldiers, it's a bit of a different experience. It's a quick adaptation between, okay, I'm just hitting this button, killing all these guys, oh crap, real person, now I gotta remember everything I was doing for this battle system. That is pretty complex. Plus, fighting the AI soldiers feels very floaty. You do get a feel of some sort of weight when fighting another player, but again, switching back and forth between fighting the AI soldiers and fighting real players, it's kind of jarring and takes a second to get into and realize what you're doing, and that second can kind of make or break every encounter, considering every second counts in an online game like this. So overall, I think For Honor is looking pretty promising. I think it's a fun concept, but it's not something I can see myself investing a ton of time into. So that's everything you need to know about For Honor before you decide to try it out this weekend during the beta or pick it up this Tuesday. Let me know down below what you thought of the beta so far. Let me know what your clan is, and if it's a samurai, I love you. If it's not a samurai, I'm gonna block you from the channel. Not actually, but samurais win. If you're new, the best thing you can do to support us if you like this video is like it, share it, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our gaming content. You can follow our socials at PSFollowers on Twitter, at PlaystationFollower on Instagram, and you can follow me on my Twitter to talk to me about For Honor and any other PS4 game at OneUpChun. But with all that being said, greatness awaits, and I'll see you all in the next video.